Um, First of all, my name is Matt Dietz. I'm the general manager here at Classic Lexus, and I'm here with a longtime loyal customer of ours, Glen. Glen I met 6 years ago when I started with Classic, and stood out really to me on how much everybody within the dealership and just throughout service, parts, sales, all knew Glen, and Glen knew them, a lot of them by first name. So I'm here with Glen now. Glen, a couple things I wanted to ask you today, and at Lexus we strive for amazing experience. Experience amazing is our tagline right now. We're always looking to wow our customers. And one thing that stood out to me with you, personally, is that there's just this glow when you come in of smart excitement, and you've been through a lot since I've even known you, and that doesn't leave you, and it stands out, and I think you bring that of what Lexus is looking for, and hopefully we bring that back to you. But I was hoping today to expound on what stood out to you, dating back to what brought you to Lexus in the first place.
Well, back in the year 2000, I was starting to experience back problems, so I went to the auto show and said I was going to sit in every mid-size SUV on the floor, and I didn't care what the name was. If it fit, I was going to buy it. Well, it turned out it was Lexus, and so that got me started. I came to Classic and Mentor when I was still a Mentor, and just took the first salesman up on the floor. It happened to be Michael Britt. And I said, I'm not ready to buy a car. I just have questions. There was not one bit of pressure to buy a car. He says, come on over, let's sit down and talk. And we talked for a half an hour. Came in the second time, 2 or 3 weeks later, same MO. I said, I'm not ready. That's okay. Come on, let's talk. And the third time I said, I'm ready. And that's when I bought my first RX 300 2000.
Wow.
And I paid it off, came back in. The 2004 redesign was out, and I couldn't resist because I really was impressed with the retention of quantity and quality, and how much they retained their value, but also the service. The service was always excellent. On that 2000, I brought it in for an oil change just 3 weeks before I was to trade it in, and the mechanic said, your front seat is bad. Something's wrong with it. I've ordered a new seat, new track for the front seat. Paid for it, under warranty.
No, you didn't come in for that seat. It
No,
just was
I
something
had no
that they
idea the
found.
seat was that way, but they took care of it. So I'm on my 8th RX, and I got the F Sport this time. I'll never go back to a regular RX. I love the F Sport.
Now that's been a couple months, and your new RX. Going back to some of the services, is there anything that, over the time that you've been a Classic Lexus customer, that stands out to you in your mind in regards back to like Michael Britt, or any situations or experiences like that seat situation?
Well, again, as far as service is concerned, I come in and Dave runs over and greets me and says, hello, Glen, and all of the guys, and then I deal basically with Mark. And a couple of times there were some things that I had an issue with because I needed transportation. I couldn't get my car out to Mentor for service, for repairs. He said, just bring it here, I'll take it out for you. So again, major service approach on everything. And I've been buying cars, I'm going to be 75 in June, and I've been buying cars for a lot of years. And the service in this dealership, and this dealership on a whole, far surpasses anything I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm not just, spreading it to plants. It's true. It is true.
We appreciate that, and again, that's something that's always stood out. One other question, and I think that other dealers would love to hear about you, is tell me a little bit about your relationship, again, back with you and Michael. Now, obviously you met as, a salesperson, on the sales floor, but what's different about you and Michael now? Because it's definitely different.
Well, I think as you folks will start to figure out, I'm a little outgoing, and I've talked to Michael about a lot of different things other than just cars. And it turns out that we're both middle child, and there are books written about middle children. And so he and I have identified on that note. But in 2015 December, my wife passed after 49 years of marriage. And excuse me,
It's okay.
Classic not only sent flowers, but Michael came to the service. And I called him that afternoon to talk to him. He says, tell me the day you got married. And I said, March 18th, 1967. He says, do you know the day I was born? I could only guess it was March 18th, 1967. And he told me at that time that when I heard that your brother-in-law told me that day, or mentioned the date, he says cold chills ran through my body. Now that's just not a normal salesman, car buyer's relationship. That's a special relationship. And that's what we've had. And I said, we're no longer just salesman and customer, we're friends, and we are. 2 weeks following the memorial service, on his day off, he came to my house with sub sandwiches and had lunch with me. Now that's over and above. Excuse me, I do get emotional. So,
It's definitely something special to all of us too.
Right.
And you know, the last thing, because I know that was a hard time for, I mean, everybody here was struck a little bit by Pat's passing. You know, even I, and I'd only been here 6 years, but one last thing I do want to, you know, kind of mention to, these are, you know, other general managers and owners, you know, in that relationship, was how Lexus came to that experience, because we had reached out, Michael and myself, and you know, kind of, they had happened to be around that week, and we had mentioned, you know, your story, and Cynthia Tenhouse, who was in the offices of Lexus, actually stepped up. And why don't you tell everybody kind of what that was about and what they had put together?
I had met her during a special presentation at the Fine Arts place on Euclid Avenue.
Yes, when we were out, we had a special event for all Lexus customers. So
Right.
we had met her down there.
I met her down there, and then she was told by Michael, and I think maybe several others, that my wife had passed, and I received a large package of goodies in the mail with a very, very nice note from her. I thought, this just doesn't normally happen, and yet it did. So,
Again, I appreciate you taking the time to, you know, talk to us and to Lexus, other, you know, general managers and owners about the situation. And again, I know, you know, it's a hard time, you know, but you mean a lot to us here, and you're a very special person.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it, guys.